Hi, I want to talk to you today about project-based learning. It is becoming very popular amongst many schools. So when you're looking at schools for your children, you want to make sure that not only does the school say they use project-based learning, but that they actually implement it correctly and allow students to become involved. It is a very engaging way for our students to learn. We've been using it on campus now for several years and we love it. We've done some huge projects. The kids have learned some really, really good skills. Not only are they learning content, but they're learning how to get along with one another. They're learning how to do proper research. They are asking burning questions that they are interested in finding the answers to. They are developing self-awareness as they come to the table in a collaborative manner to help with a project. They have to know what skills they bring. They have to be able to identify what they're able to bring to the team and how they can help out. And so all of that allows them to really encompass the learning and go very, very deep. Our projects here on campus typically include every single subject. So currently we're doing a project on the electoral process, and we have a launch, which was done last week. The launch event is very important. That's how you get the students involved and engaged and excited about what you're working on. And so our launch was done in the form of a letter that came to us from New Zealand. One of the museums there in Auckland is looking for a virtual timeline of the electoral process in every country around the world, and our students have been chosen to provide the American timeline, and they're going to cover such things as the right to vote. And if you remember, it was only for people who had property initially, and then the women's movement and African Americans getting the right to vote, and all of the big milestones are what our students are going to be tackling. As they get into those milestones, they have to ask those burning questions. The next step, once they've determined the milestones are going to cover, is to figure out what do they know about the electoral process and what do they need to know. So we really figure that out. Then there's little workshops where content is introduced and taught to the students so that they can better prepare their project and understand how to do their research. It allows them to go very deep into the subject, which is something I personally really like. When you allow a student to incorporate ELA and science and art and math, all of that together, you can go very deep into a subject, and there's a lot of meat there. And even if you're not interested in the electoral process, for example, the deeper you go, maybe you are interested in fashion. Well, when they get to what was going on, for example, during the suffragette movement, they are going to talk about the daily life, what was happening in the lives of women and of men and of children during that time period. So if you were a fashion person, your job might be to dress the models that you're going to take the pictures of to go into the virtual museum. So there's all different facets, and it really helps to get the kids excited and to bring them in and hook them into a type of learning that is not only fun and engaging, but very reflective of the skills they're going to need to have out in the workforce, which is why I like it. And you've been following this series from the beginning, you know that making sure what we teach our children that is done in a meaningful and purposeful way is super important. That's one of the pillars that we run everything through before we teach it here at Shady Oak Primary, is to make sure it is meaningful and purposeful for our students. So parents, when you're looking at schools, you want to make sure that they're using project-based learning, that they're encompassing all of the subjects into the learning, that students have an opportunity for voice and choice to really get involved and have a say, and the projects don't go in a linear line. Right? They will vary, and that's okay. And teachers need to be more of a facilitator than a teacher. And that's hard for some professionals, but a very much a needed ability to have if you're going to be effectively implementing project-based learning on the campus that you choose to send your child to. Stick with us. We'll be back tomorrow.